Hello! Hello all newcomers and welcome back my fellow Eternians. As always, it's me, Emperor AP, and today we are hanging out seeing what Micronations are made of. First off, I want to give a big shout out to the Federal Republic of Ohio. They are the first ones to hit us up in the comments. How are you guys doing? They're actually on our micronational map. If you guys aren't on the micronational map, you should check it out on our website. We have Richard Taylor. How are you doing? You said greetings, AP and Tiffany. Also, my apology. Every time I see the name, I like swap the word. Thank you, Leanna. Thank you. Yes, every time I see the name, I like need to swap it in my mind. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I mess up. Hello, Leanna. It's good to see you. Greetings, Leanna. Leanna said greetings, AP and Tiffany. But yes, tonight. Yes, we just sent out your ring and your 10 notes that you purchased, I believe, back to back. Queen Marionette jumping in. Hello, Queen Marionette. It's good to see you. Thank you for stopping by the stream. I know it's a late stream for you, and I know you were probably headed to bed, but I appreciate you hanging out with us a little bit. Tonight, what I really wanted to do was to talk all about what Micronations are made of and to kind of see what we can do with Micronations. I wanted to do this earlier in the stream as well. I was hoping if we hit it up a little bit earlier, we might have been able to get a couple of Micronations on the stream and talk about kind of what they produce and what they're up to, what they do. But for right now, I figured we can do something kind of similar and hopefully just as interesting. So, what's it? I know, that little cat boy, that little moon dust is being adorable over in the corner. You guys can't see it. Leanna said, greetings, Queen. Yeah, absolutely. So today we are going to be trying to reach out to Micronations and see effectively what they can produce and what they do. Oh, gosh. And skip this guy. Okay, cool. That's what we're going to be talking about today, is effectively trying to understand what we can do to connect to other Micronations. Queen Marionette said, hey Leanna, is that right? Sorry if it isn't. I believe you got the first part right, but I think it's just A and A. So it's Leanna. I believe A and A. Because we actually just finished Leanna's citizenship license as well, which I think she got well and enjoyed. We need to update her age on it, and I also need to update Steven's age on his license as well. But we are moving forward with our licenses. All of our citizens, if you guys don't know, have gotten digital versions of their citizenship license. Pretty soon on the Imperial market, we're actually going to offer a laminated physical version of that for them to carry around and to show off, and to establish them as a part of our nation. You know, whenever we start moving into having our land and getting passports and things, that is going to be one of the easiest and quickest ways to get an Eternian passport, is if you already have a license. You know, if you can already show who you are and what you're doing, all we will have to do is just add a little prestige to your license, so you can just go right on through. That will be your identification, that will be your passport, that will be your authorization to anything and everything you need to do in one simple system. And that's why we're trying to promote this prestige system so much, trying to get that out there for everybody. Richard, excuse me. Again, I keep goofing. Leanna said close enough. Drop the second I and you got it. Yeah. Queen said okay, nice. Yeah. And like I said, we just finished Leanna's license, so that is really cool to see. Just people like enjoying the licenses and getting to know them. Federal Republics of Ohio said that's cool. Absolutely. So Federal Republics of Ohio used to be the Buckeye Republic on our micronational map. They have recently changed due to some sort of back and forth in their micronation. If you want to learn more about that, definitely hit them up on the map and talk to them. Their contact information should be there. But for the meantime, one of the big things that I'm interested in talking about tonight is what does it mean for them to, ooh, that's really cool. Richard Taylor, goodness, forgive me. Leanna said greetings, Fro, and I really like that. That's I think what threw me off that time. I've been trying to keep it straight, but greetings, Fro is a cool name. It's a cool acronym for a micronation. Federal Republics of Ohio, otherwise known as Fro. I really dig it. If you do you go by Fro, Federal Republics of Ohio? My bigger question now, though, what can Fro do? What can the Federal Republics of Ohio actually do? What can you produce? Because one of the biggest things that we're trying to get out right now are the sovereignty license, the citizenship licenses, and the foreign dignitary licenses that all come with the prestige system. So what the um, what the citizenship license allows you to do is to become is to further expand your citizenship within the Empire of Eternia. If you become a citizen of the Empire of Eternia, you receive a citizenship license, and that is identifying you within the Empire of Eternia. And we also hope to expand that to other micronations. So if you want a standardized licensing system for your micronation, consider joining the prestige system to have access to that for all of your citizens, and a digital version of that potentially at no cost to you, um, per license. So that's something that we'll talk about in a little bit. But the primary thing that I'm interested in is we've talked to a lot of nations, and they've all shown support for having individual licensing for people who may want to join our prestige system individually, but may not initially want to bring their whole nation on board. So the easiest and simplest way to join our prestige system is to get a limited sovereignty license. If you get a limited sovereignty license, that's free. All you have to do is fill out our sovereignty application, and I will show you where that is at right now. Let me see. Do I have it on our website? If I don't, then we will surely bring it up. Yep, so we have the prestige system here. As you can see, this just outlines the prestige system, and then you see the sovereignty license application. The sovereignty license application allows you to fill out our sovereignty application, and essentially start moving forward with uh, um, working in the prestige system. So a sovereignty license allows you to accept quests from the Empire of Eternia and other nations to be paid in imperial notes, which can be used to purchase items on our imperial market and can even be used to hire other people. It can also be used to access things like it can also be used to access things like increasing your license. So if you get a limited sovereignty license and you start completing quests and you start earning imperial notes, you can upgrade to a full sovereignty license. That full sovereignty license will allow you to create quests yourself for other people to fill out and to complete for you for those same imperial notes. So it allows you to create worth for yourself. Even if you don't have any money to spend, you will have the ability to create value for yourself within this prestige system. I think that's really crucial for a lot of small micronationalists, and people who are just wanting to make money personally. You know, even if you're not a part of any micronation, you could be a part of this system and do that. So um, multiple things. Um, Federal Republics of multiple things. Federal Republics of Ohio said sup. Queen said first like. Hey, thank you for being our first like. I appreciate it. Um, Fro said, since we're a small micronation, we can really only make small scale crops. See though, but if you have talents outside of that at all, if you have specific skills or talents that you are interested in promoting, if you can draw, if you can sing, if you can anything in the world, if you can teach somebody something, if you can code, if you can do just about anything, that is a skill. And the sovereignty system works off of understanding what skills you have to be applied to quests. So if you apply for a limited sovereignty license, what we're asking you for on this application, let me click on it. I might actually need to edit it. Yep, okay, there we go. So As you can see here on the application for sovereignty, you fill out your name, your email address so we can contact you. Preferred area of interest, either being creation-based, performance-based, or logistics-based, which if you have any questions about what that means, you can check out the actual Prestige system information packet to learn more about that. But from there, you go on to list specific skills and detail your function in them. So that is any and every skill that you can think of that you have the ability to prove that you can do. It doesn't even have to be fantastic, just prove that you are capable of doing that. And we can give you we can give you skills on your license that attribute to that. So whenever you go to apply for a quest, you will have a sovereignty license that says, hey, this person has been officiated by the Empire of Eternia to be able to do these things. They've proven it. Once you submit your sovereignty application, that's what we do, is we go through and we review it. We look at all the different skills that you've listed, and we come up with ways, if they already haven't been tested, if nobody's asked about your specific skill already, then we come up with a way for you to verify that you can complete that skill and go through that verification process with us. Once that happens, you have officiated that skill, and we will use that verification process for anyone else in the future who comes to test that same skill and for continual upgrades of that skill. So leveling up your skills. And that's the idea, is that people will be able to go and apply for these quests, and the people who are looking for these participants in the quest will be able to review their candidates based on their skills and their skill levels and easily determine who is the best candidate for the job and move forward like that. So this is hopefully going to, once it's all said and done, be a really quick, really smooth process. The more sovereigns we have, the more exciting it is for our officiate nations, those that are trying to create those quests, or even other business owners, citizens, individuals who just need things done for them, maybe to help promote themselves, maybe to help just make more money, or to even just get something off their chest, something that has been kind of a task they've been had on their mind for a while but never got around to doing. Even to create like content for us for a citizenship. If you completed a quest and you said, oh, now I want citizenship in the Empire of Eternia, but goodness, I don't have any content to make, or I don't want to subscribe to the Patreon. You have notes. You can get somebody to make some content for you, and then there you go. There's your citizenship. So that's the idea, is to allow anybody starting at any level, any monetary level, any skill level, to be able to start out in this system and grow forward. So if you fill out that sovereignty application, you can get a free digital limited sovereignty license that will allow you to be able to start taking on quests right now. We have our first sovereignty license that's about to go out pretty soon. We're actually going through the verification process of a couple skills with that individual. And as we continue to move forward with this, that's the plan, is to grow and grow and grow how many sovereigns we have, because the more sovereigns we have, the better it is for this system. And as well, hopefully it will promote more and more quest creation. So we have the actual quest system that is connected to the site. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I do suggest you check it out. It's in our quest forum underneath our frequently asked questions, and it shows active quests. The Micronational community needs you, and then we will actually be posting our first quest here very, very soon. I want to talk about that with everybody, but until then, please fill out those sovereignty applications. Anybody can do it. A citizen can do it. The Empire of Eternia, the way that works is their skills just get applied to their citizenship license and works the same way. The same thing with anybody else. If you aren't a part of any other micronation, you want to get a citizenship license for your nation, you can do that through through getting your micronation as an officiate nation in this system. Or potentially, we may have in the future an ability for you to pay for a citizenship license for your nation. But that'll be an entirely separate thing. Let me see here. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. We have a whole bunch of... First off, we have 5 viewers. Thank you guys very much for hanging out. Let me exit out of this. Let me exit out of that real quick. Okay, so FRO said, Leanna said it's FRO, bro. That's funny. I appreciate you, Leanna. Queen Marionette said, LOL, my abbreviation is accidentally PP. Don't do it. Republics of Ohio said, I'll adapt Fro now. Leanna said, no PP, PP bad. Queen Marionette said, everyone has these cool PFP and I'm just a Q, so I'll go by Lil Q from now on. I appreciate it. Queen Marionette said, no PP good. Federal Republics of Ohio said, my PFP is just my flag. Queen says, still cool though. Leanna said, Queen, you be awesome. Queen said, thanks. Federal Republics of Ohio said, we're really doing well in science and space. That's awesome. See, so those are skills. Those are applicable skills that you could do to join in the sovereignty system and the prestige system as a whole. Ohio said, it should be on Discord. I did it once. Very cool. Did what once? Queen said, still don't know if I should. I'll wait for permission. Queen said, I don't know how to join the stream and talk, and I don't know if I should. You can if you want to. We'd absolutely love that. Let me...
Designed to deploy in...
Hang on one second. Let me get things set up to do that, and we will jump in. We have 5 viewers. Thank you guys very much for hanging out. And also, please remember to like the video because it helps us out a whole bunch. Also, we're almost to 1160 subs. Thank you guys very much for that. We are like 1 away, I think. If we can get 1 more sub, we'll be at 1160, and that's really cool. Morgan Schaefer Jr. said hi. Hello, Morgan Schaefer. Anakin Skywalker said hi. Hello, Anakin. Hello, Morgan Schaefer. How are you doing? We're talking about the prestige system. We're talking about how you can become a sovereign for free in our community and be able to respond to quests, complete quests, and make real Eternian notes from those quests. Federal Republics of Ohio said, got it and sup. Queen said, hi, Anakin. Leanna said, ooh, when I had my micronation, the abbreviation was SNA, Sovereign Nation of Aldera. That's very cool, Leanna. Bredonian State says, please take care of your server. What's going on with the server, Bredonian State? Queen Marionette says, Sans, super attractive Neo-skeleton. I appreciate it. Fro said, gonna have a bad time. Leanna said, greetings, Morgan and Anakin. Leanna's always a wonderful host to our community and always welcomes everybody. I really appreciate it. Cesarpi said the Eternia gang pulled up. You know, we did. We pulled up, we whipped in, and we're hanging out. Leanna says, greetings, Bredonia. The Free Bredonian State said, hello, I come here because the Discord server has gone toxic. What's gotten toxic about it, Bredonia? Leanna said, greetings, Zerpy. Queen Marionette says, that ad scared the mess out of me. Yeah, it does. I'm sorry about that. I'm wearing headphones for the first time, myself as well on a stream. That's fair. Fro said, the whole section where I originally came gone toxic. Glad I survived the whole thing. Natlin was a micronation I really looked up to them. Now they're gone. Free Bredonian State says it's still toxic. Micronationalism isn't about getting popular. It's about standing up against the status quo. I feel like you can do both, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like the status quo, if you get popular enough, you can change what the status quo is, you know? And improve that. You should always want to improve the situation for where you're at. And even if you don't want to become, like, popular and change the status quo, you can still gain support for what you're doing. That's what we're trying to do. Queen Marionette says, I don't mean for it to be pee-pee though. Don't judge my nation, bro. Leanna said, it's sad how quickly stuff gets toxic in social media stuff. I'm trying to figure out what's toxic though. Queen said, true. Leanna said, it's that toxic crap that makes me not want to get onto many social media outlets. Fro said, yeah, see. I'm curious though, I really am, because I I don't know. I feel like people are definitely weird in our Discord server. There are certainly some like negative people. One of the big things we've had an issue with is people posting like Nazi stuff. For a while, people would like throw in things that were like, even if they weren't directly supporting Nazism, they'd have like Nazi imagery and stuff like that. And so we had to make a specific rule. Hey, if you post Nazi imagery, you're going to be banned. And it's the same thing with links. You know, people used to post links all the time that would either just be like rude or would be, you know, spammy, or they'd just try and blow up the server with a million comments and stuff. So we had to create some stuff to kind of cut back on that. But it's hard to run a Discord server of like 200 people. You know, you create certain rules for things, and you have to try and balance between what's going to be freedom of speech and what you allow people to say, even if it's not your personal opinion, versus what you outright need to condemn and what you say, hey, this won't be allowed here. So that's a hard line to walk, and it's constantly something that's evolving. But if you do feel like there is something particularly toxic about our community, I would love to hear what that thing is so we can improve it. Because I don't want anybody to feel unwelcome in the server or to feel like there's any issues that can't be resolved within that. Because we want people who are supportive and creative and trying to grow their micronations and trying to be positive parts of this community. So if there's something we need to review and look at, please let us know. There was one thing that was very similar in our Discord server today, in fact, somebody calling us out and saying that we were like a scam, and saying that the reason that we were was because they didn't think that people should have to pay for citizenship, and that having things on our imperial market was wrong in some way. And those things are to raise funds for our land purchases. Those things, and the other thing that they brought up was having no dual micronational citizenship. They said they don't feel like that dual micronational citizenship is a conflict of interest. And those are all opinions that they can, you know, that's the way we do things, and they can disagree with the way that we do things, but that doesn't make us a scam. A scam is something that's particularly dishonest. And what I've always set up Eternia to be, and what I've always talked to you guys about, is I'm trying to make something for myself and my family, and for people who feel similarly to me about wanting to live in a place that is different from the society we currently live in. Not only different, but specifically helpful to them as an individual, trying to create the highest quality of life possible for them as an individual, and having a country that is designed to take care of them and their needs throughout their life, from birth to death. So that's what we're trying to create. And in order to do that, we have to make money. In order to do that, we have to gain some popularity. In order to do that, we have to make noise. We have to let people know who we are and why we're here. Because, you know, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, so we're gonna be squeaking. And that's kind of the, oh goodness, that art looked interesting. But that's the idea for us, is trying to develop something that is really important to us. And so I feel like it's interesting to hear these criticisms, because we always want to improve. You know what I mean? Whenever I hear somebody say something like that or call us out, I really want to pay attention to what they're saying, because if there is anything that is that we legitimately need to fix, that's you know, causing people to leave our server, or causing people to leave our community because we're doing something wrong, we want to address it. We've always wanted to be transparent with you guys. That's why we do things like this. So that's the big thing for me, is trying to make sure that for you guys, this is something that is investable, that is something that's sustainable, and is caring for you. If it ever becomes a point where people feel like this isn't a positive thing, or that this is harmful, there's no reason to make it, you know. So that's the idea, is always trying to improve and always trying to make this something that feels individualistic, even as we grow larger and even as we become a bigger and bigger thing. Whole bunch of things. I'm about to get on the Discord so that I can discuss with Queen. She has been wanting to unveil her nation, and I am very, very excited to hear about it. Fro says, I tried to be careful. Queen says, I just got Discord after being Discord sober for a few months. I hope it was a good and much needed break. Fro says, oof. Scissorpy says, stink bait. And then they said, hell yeah, bro, keep grinding. I appreciate it, Scissorpy. Also, thank you very much for supporting the channel. I've seen like a few of your comments in some of the streams, but it seems like you're getting more and more active. And that means a lot to us because we're trying to get, one of the biggest things we're trying to do right now is get our monetization going, and for that we need 4,000 watch time hours. We're slowly getting there, but having people like you who come in and talk and hang out is really important to us. Also, if you're interested, I don't know if you have a micronation yourself or if you're a micronationalist even, but if you're interested in that, consider joining the Empire of Eternia. If you have your own micronation, consider joining our prestige system and helping your micronation grow. If you don't care about any of that and you want to make money or you want to make value for yourself in Eternia notes, hit us up. You can join the prestige system for free as a sovereign and apply for quests depending on what your specific skills are. Liana said, I had to uninstall Discord from my phone. It was being slow. It was slowing it down even after I turned the background operations off. I'm sorry to hear about that, Liana. I actually was like missing you in Discord. I tried to message you the other day and it said, you don't share a server with this person. I was like, oh no, Liana left our server. I hope everything's okay. And that was my biggest fear, is that something had happened that had turned you, or potentially other people as well, off of the server. So I'm glad to know that it was a technical issue. That's not good. It's garbage that it was a technical issue, but I feel like that's better than it having been something that was because of the way that our community is or because of anything that we could help and didn't. So I certainly hope that you are able to join us in other ways, but I definitely understand having to make sure that your phone's working properly. Queen says, I believe AP, but imagine the whole thing was just a scam. Playing the long game, I see AP. I commend you for your dedication. Thanks, Queen. Actively hemorrhaging my own personal money and time. It's a big scam. Scam on me. Queen Marionette said, LOL, same, it sucks, but I mainly just got rid of it because of toxic people. If I don't hop on right away, it's because I'm nervous. That's perfectly fine, Queen. I understand. Fro says, my account on AP's Discord is basically dead since Micronations began to go after me because I was something. I'm sorry to hear that. What happened? Queen says, this will be my first time having my voice on the YouTubes. I appreciate it. Also, Queen, since you are making your Micronation, once we talk about this and discuss it, if you ever want to make content for our channel talking about your nation, hit us up. We'll throw it up for you. Fro says, that's something is that I'm a furry. I'm like, still though, that shouldn't cause you to get like bullied in a server or anything for it. Leanna said, there are only two things I have ever found worthy of my monetary contributions: the Libertarian Party, the Empire of Eternia. I appreciate it. Hopefully those things have some like correlation for you. I certainly think there's interesting comparisons because we definitely have like government assisted programs that we're going to be building up, but it's all designed to work within a system that is based around individual contribution in the society. So there's a weird mix of like socialism, libertarianism that exists in the Empire of Eternia, and I think there's an interesting political spectrum in micronationalism in general that allows for hodgepodges like that. Scissorp says, make money like how? Well, if you haven't seen our streams talking about the prestige system, I definitely recommend you do. What I would recommend you do actually, if you're curious about it, is check out our Imperial Market, our website. eternianempire.wixsite.com/Imperial Market. If you go to this website, you can actually go over here to the More tab, go down to Imperial Market, and here you'll see the things that are for sale in the Imperial Market currently. If you click on any of those will take you to our Etsy, the Imperial Market, where you can check out. But then we have the Prestige system. And the Prestige system is this big system that we've designed that includes licensing, that includes prestiges, just like the ability for someone to do different things in a micronation. It includes a whole bunch of stuff. What you need to be focused on is sovereignty specifically. Sovereignty and a sovereignty license is the way that someone, without needing to be a part of a micronation, can still join the community, participate, and increase the value of their work and effort in that community. So We have a limited sovereignty license that is completely free. Like I've been talking to everybody about, all you do is you go on our website, you fill out this application where it says application, sovereignty license application, and you tell us basically what your name is, what your contact information is, and what your skills are. When you define those skills to us, we go through a process with you of verifying that you can do those skills. Then we rank you on those skills, and we give you for free, we send you a digital limited sovereignty license. What that allows you to do is go in and actively complete quests for people. So we have this quest tab over here in the quest forum where we don't have any active quests yet, but we are going to start posting active quests, and other micronations are going to start posting active quests, which will allow for people to make notes by completing these quests. Every quest will have, depending on what the poster wants to offer as a reward, some reward for completion of that quest. So if you apply to complete the quest and we give you the quest, then if you complete it for us, you will get that many notes. Those notes can be used in turn to upgrade your sovereignty license to start hiring other people to do things with a full sovereignty license. It can also buy you citizenship in our empire by paying taxes through your notes. It can do things like purchase things on our imperial market with those notes, all sorts of things. So that being the case, if you get into this, you can get into it completely for free without needing to become a part of our micronation or any other micronation, and start to make imperial notes, our currency, which can be exchanged for things of value such as US dollars, such as we're a 1-to-1 exchange rate with the US dollar. We also have our imperial market where you can purchase things and support us, and you can hire people for quests. So we're trying to set up this system to be a network for a lot of micronations, and having people who are skilled and are able to do these quests, I think, will be a long way to getting that up and running for us. So that's the idea. If you're interested in doing that and wanting to become a sovereign, all you have to do is fill out a sovereignty application and get that started. And you can start taking on quests. Real quick, I am going to jump into the voice chat, YouTube stream, voice chat. Here we go. Okay, and we're in it. Let me see if I can turn down turn up the output capture. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually mute our music here to see if we can talk to Leanna a little bit. Excuse me, to Queen a little bit. I'm going to just turn down the music and then see if I can't fix that for us. There we go. So hopefully that won't be too loud. We have 7 viewers. Wow, thank you guys very much. It is a late night stream, and yet we are getting 7 viewers already. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Real quick, let me start answering some questions. Queen says, haha. Fro said, they went after me, so I had to back up my main account. I'm sorry to hear that. Fro says, Roxy the Dragon 9000, if anyone wants to know. Very cool. Queen says, I'll save any more questions for talking. Fair enough. Fro says, sup. Queen says, howdy doodly neighbor. The government of Vernonium joined us. How are you, Vernonium? Cesarpi says, that's very interesting. I'll check it out. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're trying to create a way for people, whether you're part of another micronation, whether you're part of our micronation, or whether you're a part of no micronation, to be able to start using this system, to be able to start creating value. One of the biggest things that we want to do is give back to the micronational community and support this cause that we're all moving towards. So that's a good way to do it. It's a free way to do it. You know, there are, of course, perks that you can purchase through us that will help us out to be able to go for land, but the initial way to do it is 100% free. There is a way to get all the perks and all the things in this without paying any money just out of pocket. Like, you can earn money through the system, which you can then apply to anything you need. Multiple things. Leanna said, I'm posting pics on Instagram about the trans community and some of the scientific data discovered, and I'm getting several likes on them. I guess Instagram is where the open-minded people are. Who knew? Absolutely. People are really supportive on Instagram if you find the right communities. Vernonium said, I came from the Discord. Hey, well, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Greetings. I hope you're doing well. Leanna said, greetings, Vernonium. Queen said, deep breathe. Uh, I believe in you. Vernonium says, Ohio, I like your flag. As well, Vernonium, if you are not on our micronational map, I recommend you join it. It is on our website here at eternianempire.wixsite.com. You can apply for the map here, and we have, I think, over 60 nations on it, maybe getting close to 70. But we have nations all over the world, and it's a great way to discover what communities are local to you, what micronational communities are where you live. As well, I see Queen hiding out in that YouTube stream chat. I hope you're doing well, Queen. I'm trying to see. No pressure, Queen. Um, Daniel Maloney said hello from the Dan Republic. Federal Republics of Ohio said, hey, Dan. Said thanks. Queen Marionette said, AP, how do I mute you on the voice chat? I don't think you can mute me. Maybe, but I don't know how, if so. Vernonium says, I'll submit to the map. Thanks for telling me. Of course. We're excited to have you. And as well, Vernonium, if you are interested in becoming a part of our prestige system, you can do so, where you can apply for quests, which we've been talking about. All you have to do is fill out our sovereignty application, which is as well on the website. That'll get you a free sovereignty license, can potentially get you started into creating standardized citizenship licenses for all of your citizens. Whole bunch of stuff we can do. So it's essentially all based around our imperial notes. Leanna said, you got this, Queen. We're all friends here. Go, Queen. We believe in you. Queen said, 1 second. Leanna said, greetings, Daniel. Queen said, I hear you saying different things. Yeah, because the stream versus the Discord are out of sync. You're hearing me in real time in the Discord, but there's a lag for the stream. There we go. I muted myself in the stream, in the stream chat, so that way she can hear and can talk without me jumping over in like 3 different ways. So, Queen, if you can hear me now, I did mute myself on the Discord.
Hello?
Let me see if I can respond here. Hey,
I'm not.
Queen, how are you?
Oh, this is I can hear you on the stream. No, not on the Discord.
Hello there, AP.
Hello, Daniel, and hello, Queen.
This is confusing.
I'm sorry, it's because of a lag between the stream and the Discord.
Oh, okay, because I was just trying to see if...
If you mute the stream, it
Oh,
might
wait.
help.
Okay. Okay, I muted the stream.
Okay,
Because...
hello.
Hi. Because I wasn't hearing myself on the stream, and I was listening to hear myself through the Discord call. And then nothing happened, and a minute later I could hear myself. So, I see the lag.
Yes. I actually have been noticing it for quite some time, actually.
Yeah, if I guess AP, if you want, you can unmute yourself because I got the stream muted, so I can't hear anything you say now.
I appreciate it. I'm glad everything got fixed. Queen, I'm excited to hear about your nation.
There's not really much to say. Well, that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, if you have questions, I can answer them though.
Please do. What is the name of your nation?
The Peninsula of Perpetua. I can't pronounce it in any other way, so it just sounds like that. It's Perpetua.
That's fine.
Yeah, I know it's fine. I just want it to sound a bit more English and less Italian of the accent.
That's perfectly fine. Now, my name is President Daniel Maloney, or just Daniel Maloney. I am the president of the Dan Republic. I'm actually right now, my nation is currently trying to expand its population, economy, and such to a point where we might actually be able to help the community and be a good example for the community to aspire to.
I'm glad to hear that, Daniel.
Did I unmute myself? Yeah, I did. Okay. How, Daniel, how long has your nation been around?
Since June 25th of 2020.
Oh, that's pretty recent. Not too recent though, but pretty recent.
Over
Agreed.
a year, for sure. They've hit that benchmark though. That's cool.
Yeah. Just a few more months and you'll be 1 year old. That's well, not you.
The nation.
Yeah, the nation. That's pretty cool.
Well, if they did it on January, they should be over a year old now. It's smart.
Yeah, my bad.
Sorry, June 1st of 2020.
Oh,
June 25th of 2020.
So I was right. I knew you said January, but for some reason in my head I was thinking June.
Yeah, my apologies. I should have said June, not January.
It's good.
No, it's synced up. It worked out perfect.
Yeah.
Real quick, I am going to answer a couple comments, but I do have some questions about your nation, Queen.
Of course. I'll be right back. I gotta go check on something real quick, if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to answer comments. Leanna said, first off, Fro said, I'm glad I'm in this group. At least I don't get judged for who I am. You should never get judged for who you are, Fro. And if you do, you're probably just around the wrong people. There are plenty of supportive people out there, and we try our best to be. You are 100% supported in this group. Leanna said, Fro, I know you're not going to be judged here. I'm a trans female lesbian and no one has really said anything about it. Of course, because we support you, Leanna. Whoever you are, whatever you come to the table with in Eternia, we are honored to have and we support you 100%. You are one of the foundational building blocks of our nation and we are honored to have you as a part of the growth and development of Eternia. As well, the Federal Republic of Ohio, Fro, said good, because the last thing I want is to be judged because of my hobby. You absolutely shouldn't be. Scissor says LOL. Government of Vernonium says, my country is pronounced as Vernonium, but that is the more formal way of saying it. It's usually just Vernon. Oh, okay. Well, we're glad to have you, Vernon. Fro says, you know what? I'm going to rejoin the server. Thank you very much, Fro. We appreciate it. And I hope that you join our prestige system as well. I think becoming one of the foundational members of that prestige system can help a lot with growing it and making it a standard for micronationalism. So we're excited about that. Daniel, have you heard much about our prestige system?
Just a little bit, but I thought, the prestige system, it would be nice if I can actually, if there would be some benefit to it. And in my opinion, there probably is a lot of benefit to it as well. Like, can you explain a bit about it?
Absolutely. So the prestige system, you can definitely read up in more detail on our website, but the basis of it is we're trying to create a system that allows for anyone, whether you are a micronationalist and you're running your own nation, whether you're a citizen of the Empire of Eternia, or whether you are neither and you're just someone
You're breaking up. You were breaking up during the explanation.
I'm sorry to hear about that. Is this better?
I believe so. And also, the Federal Republics of Ohio made it.
Oh, fantastic! Into the Discord.
Server.
Wonderful.
Yes, Discord.
I'm glad to see the Federal Republics of Ohio. Um, the sorry, I got distracted. The prestige system is a way for anyone, whether they are a citizen of Eternia, whether they are a micronationalist running their own micronation, or whether they are neither and just someone interested in growing the resources that they have, growing the monetary resources that they have, to be able to improve their standing economically. So it's an economic system. The design of it is around three different licenses. A sovereignty license, which allows you to apply for quests on our website. Quests um, well, they're quests which someone can be, which have rewards based in imperial notes. So our imperial notes, which can be exchanged for US dollars, which can be applied to purchases on our imperial market and can be used to upgrade your license. Um, and all of that is based around this initial sovereignty license. So someone can show us and tell us their skills based on a sovereignty application, and then they can get a free sovereignty license that will allow them to apply for these quests. So that whenever they apply for quests, the person who created the quest can look through different applicants, see their skills and their skill levels, and determine who would be best fit to complete that quest. If you get accepted for a quest and you complete it, you get the reward for that, and you can then even use that to upgrade your sovereignty license, which is a purchasable item, which can allow you to have a full sovereignty license where you can even create your own quests for other people to do for you. So if you say needed a graphic designer, but there are no graphic designers in your nation, you have the ability to get a full sovereignty license, which allows you to implement quests to be able to reach out to our community and say, hey, any graphic designers, I'll pay you 3 notes if you can come up with a logo for this particular part of my government, or musicians, if you can create an anthem for me. It's a way for us to start creating value based around people's skills and get a monetary system going that is standardized for the micronational community.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Thank you very much. I'm certainly excited about it. As well, we have multiple people joining us in the YouTube stream. Oh.
Apparently, Kayla is saying that this is a pyramid scheme.
Ooh, that's interesting. I would definitely like to talk about that. Pyramid schemes, if you guys don't know, they're very interesting. Pyramid schemes are designed around one person hiring other people to become a part of their group, where they then take a percentage of the profits from all of the people in their group, who are then supposed to essentially get other people to sign up for a program that will then continue to do that. This is not a pyramid scheme, but a linear business model in which one person can use their skills to be hired for labor and paid for those skills directly based on completion of a quest. So you have no incentive to bring other people into the program. Your only incentive is to just complete quests.
Okay. So really, what would be the benefit for the damn republic? Like, how would this nobility system work for the damn republic in regards to foreign micronations actually needing money to get its economy set up and such?
Absolutely. So, Dan, say you as an individual wanted to join the sovereignty, the prestige system. If you wanted to join the prestige system, as a sovereign. You would get a sovereignty license. A sovereignty license is basically just being a worker. You're not, your license can have the nation that you're from and your name and stuff, but it wouldn't specifically link you in our economic system to a country. It would just be designed around your skills as an individual. So you could use those to go onto our website, apply for quests, which have specific monetary rewards based in our Imperial notes, complete those quests, get the Imperial notes that are assigned to each quest that you complete, and once you have built up enough notes, you could then say buy a full sovereignty license, which would be a few dollars, and you could, or a few Imperial notes if you wanted to even directly trade your Imperial notes for that. Then, now that you have a full sovereignty license, you could even create quests for other people to complete for you and get even more work done. So you are able to increase the output of your nation without even increasing your citizen count. You could also even have a quest that is just based around finding citizens. Hey, if you will join my nation, I need a citizen who is specifically good at woodworking. We're trying to build this nation. We need somebody to be here physically building things for us. I will give you 30 notes if you will join my nation and help us with woodworking. So it's a way to gain citizens. It's a way to do a lot. That's adorable.
Also, one more thing. So, do you like the aluminum ingots, like the aluminum ingot molds that I sent to you in terms of the DMs, and rather how helpful will that be?
I would like to talk about that more in more detail, especially off the stream. But as for right now, I am curious about it. I know we ourselves are producing aluminum ingots as well. I know at one point you had talked to us about sending like raw aluminum, as far as sending like aluminum scraps, such as cans and things like that, which are very interesting, but I would worry would become very bulky on your end to ship if we were able to purchase them cheaply enough. But at the same time, because we are a regular creator of aluminum waste, we generally just compile our own aluminum waste into those ingots. We are hopefully going to be selling our own aluminum ingots on the Imperial market very soon. So if we start to meet more demand than our supply can handle, we would absolutely be interested in purchasing those. It would just have to be at a price that's still profitable for us.
May I suggest, may I actually suggest like a pro about these aluminum ingot molds that I actually sent you in regards to where you can buy them. Now, technically, the aluminum ingot molds come in many different sizes, and therefore you could produce hundreds, if not thousands, of small ones, or you could produce a lot of big ones that are worth a lot. Since aluminum is typically priced by how much it weighs, as in how much, how heavy it is and such.
Absolutely. That's completely correct. The big difficulty with using normal ingot molds for us as of right now is because we are using an electric arc furnace. We're doing very small scale aluminum melting, so it can melt down aluminum really, really quickly within a fraction of a second because of such a high current going through it. But our system can only run for so long, so we're not trying to do very large scale ingot work. And as well, because of the design of that system, we can't pour a ton of liquid metal. So generally, instead of creating a large bath of liquid aluminum that we've heated over a long time and then pouring that into a mold, what we generally do instead is create a crucible that is of itself a mold. So we will create that crucible in the shape that we want our final ingot to be, and we will just melt the metal directly in there.
Right. I do have another question in regards to rather when it comes down to gold ingot or gold coin production. So let's just say by some chance, another micronationalist so happens to have like a bunch of gold dust that can be melted down into golden coins or gold ingots or something like that, and he so happens to offer it to you, like, would you accept it?
Let me respond to that question after I respond to a couple comments, because there have been some people waiting on comments, but I will get right back to that.
All right.
So let's see here. We have a whole bunch of stuff. Leanna said, oh, excuse me. Vernon said it's kind of like Chuck E. Cheese, where you can use the tickets to get things, right? Absolutely. And you can even use our Chuck E. Cheese tickets, our Imperial notes, to cash in for US dollars. So if you feel like our currency isn't valuable enough for you, you can exchange them for an even more widely accepted currency. We have a one-to-one exchange rate with the US dollar. So that would be a perfectly acceptable way to do things. And the idea is to create enough value around our currency such that people want to stay invested in that, to design this quest system, to design the prestige system as a whole, this economic system, around the use of the imperial note so that it increases that value and increases that usefulness of it. Leanna said, let's see, carpentry, homesteading, natural remedies. Yep, I'll be getting rich in Eternia. I am glad to hear that, Leanna, and I am very excited to see your sovereignty application soon, because I really want to get into creating some standards for those. The way that we go about officiating whether or not someone can is good at a skill and deserves a particular skill level is by first having an individual who is interested in officiating that skill. So when someone comes to us with a brand new skill that they want to apply for, we will create a standard for that. We will create a test to prove that they can complete that to us. And when they complete that skill, when they complete that test, if you will, that will be the way that they earn that skill, and it will also be the standard that we use for anyone else who would come after them looking to gain the same skill. So we really want a wide range of skilled individuals to apply for our sovereignty licenses so that we can have a large range of standards to be able to test people on for ensuring that they are capable of doing these different skills and upgrading them. Queen says, yes, you would. Okay, so going back to President Daniel Maloney's question, talking about gold dust and about the value of that and whether you would accept it. For me personally, I would accept it if it was free. If someone said, hey, I will just send you gold dust 100% for free, and you don't, I'll pay the shipping and everything, just accept it. Just in your invite, just open your mailbox and take it out. Then yes, 100% I would accept that. If they were asking me to purchase it, I feel like I would have to do more due diligence. I would have to look into what they mean by gold dust, what the purity of that gold dust is, verifying that it's actually gold. There are a number of things that come with that, because if I'm getting what someone is calling gold dust, they say, hey, I have some remnant gold in my backyard. There's 1,000 parts per million gold dust in the soil on my land. We were built over a gold mine or something, and I want to scavenge some of that gold dust and sell it to you. Well, then I'm probably going to have to purify and refine that. So I have to know what the purity of that gold dust is, how much gold dust I'm getting per ounce or per pound before I create a price for it. Because if that person tries to sell me it at the current standard value of gold, then it better be 100% pure gold dust. If not, then there are a lot of issues there. So if you're getting something that is not a refined final product, if you're not getting an ingot that you can verify is 100% pure 24 karat gold or something like that, I would say to very, very lowball the amount that you're willing to purchase it for, just because initially you would have no idea what the actual quantity of gold that you could buy something and realize that there is zero gold in it, and that there may be, you know, some copper and some zinc and stuff like that mixed in there that may be shiny and metallic looking, potentially even have or copper um, and there are just a number of things, you know, pyrite, fool's gold. There is a lot of things that appear gold in nature, that are found in metal, in naturally occurring rocks and minerals that may not actually be gold. So that's a very hard thing to do because it's a very valuable substance. It's like, you know, buying a diamond from someone. You really have to know what you're doing, because if you pay too much for it, then you're out a lot of money. But if you don't give the right price, that person might not sell you something that could potentially be valuable for you. So I would say I'd probably look to do like a physical trade for it first, because I'd have no idea what the actual quantity of gold that's in that would be. And I would make sure that whatever I'm giving to that person is something that isn't incredibly valuable to me, but may be valuable to them. Dan, you said you're melting aluminum ingots. Purified aluminum ingots, if they can't purify aluminum themselves, may be quite valuable to them, whereas that's something that's fairly commonplace to you if you're melting down cans and tinfoil and stuff already. So that may be an easy trade for you to do. Say, hey, if you really do have gold dust, send me, you know, 3 ounces of gold dust, and I'll send you a purified ounce of aluminum, and see what they think about that. Because aluminum's what, the purified 1 ounce aluminum ingot, maybe $20. So if you got 3 ounces, even if you could get an ounce of gold dust or half an ounce of gold, purified gold out of that, may be worth it. But again, I would be very, very careful as to purchasing something that on paper has such a high value, but may be under marketed differently.
All right. I'll keep that in mind, and just to let you know, I'm not actually trying to price the gold dust if I ever start recycling computer microprocessors, because, you know, if I have gold dust, I'd be more than willing to accept anything that you want to trade for it, because gold is by far the most valuable resource on the planet. So therefore, in my eyes, I wouldn't just send you like 3 ounces of gold dust. I would send you like maybe like 5 to 10 pounds worth of it.
Wow, that would be incredible. But because you have that's interesting. So gold is something that has a relatively low melting point. Like, I think gold's higher than aluminum in melting point, but I don't think it's as high as something like copper or steel. I could be wrong. I know it's not as high as steel, but it may be around copper. Um, I would see if you could purify it yourself. Like, if you could send actual purified gold, that would be, I think, just a lot more valuable than the gold dust. Gold dust would certainly be very valuable, but if you could then purify it yourself, you've done all the work for somebody. So you would be able to, you know, go anywhere online and sell purified gold ingots for quite a lot of money, I would imagine. And I would absolutely be happy to purchase something like that, or to trade for something like that.
Which brings me to my next point, or the next thing I wanted to bring up. The real reason why, in my opinion, that this would be possible is if, for example, like, I know that recycling electronics is probably one of the most hardest things to do. But however, when it comes down to microprocessors, the only metal that is found in a microprocessor is typically gold, which means that's the only metal you have in regards to that, even though you need 2 different types of acids to separate, just to necessarily, you know, get rid of the ceramics and leave the gold behind and such. You have to realize it's one of those things that despite being difficult to do, it is very rewarding when you pull it off.
I would imagine so. As well, it would be really interesting to see the process, because you know, all transistors and all microprocessors being made of transistors are made of a lot of silicon and copper as well. So that would be an interesting thing to see. As well, real quick, before we continue on this topic, I want to answer a couple more comments that came through. Vernon asked, do I fill out the sovereignty application in the alliance category? You do not, but I appreciate it. If you go actually to more, you can go down to the Imperial Market. I'll have to put that on our main headline of topics here on our homepage. But if you go over to the more category, you can click on the Imperial Market. Once you're in the Imperial Market page, you can scroll down. You see the initial things we have for sale so far on the Imperial Market. You can go down to the Prestige system. The Prestige system is this big thing that includes sovereignty licenses, includes citizenship licenses, foreign dignitaries licenses. All of that is found under here. If you want to learn more about the Prestige system, there's a link directly to the document that we've created detailing the Prestige system. And then below that is the sovereignty license application, which you can see right here. That sovereignty license application is what you will fill out to get a digital sovereignty license. We will review it. We will officiate your skills that you have applied for, and then we will send you your own digital sovereignty license. I hope that helps. Please let me know if there's any more confusion, Vernon. Leanna said, I would accept gold or silver dust and nuggets in exchange for work if it's real. Richard Taylor, Leanna says, AP aluminum is like 25 cents per pound. That's true, but that is also aluminum scrap. If you can purify aluminum and get it into ingots, it's worth a little bit more just because someone had to put in the time and effort to refine it and purify it. So for example, if you like give somebody a can, I definitely understand aluminum cans and aluminum scrap being 25 cents per pound because you have to melt out all the plastics and all the paint and everything else that's gone on to coating that to make a product. But that purified aluminum hopefully would be worth a little bit more, especially to people who are doing small scale melting and stuff. I could see it getting closer and closer to 25 cents per pound as you start to get into bulk amounts of purified aluminum. King Andrew Carter says, good afternoon, Your Imperial Majesty AP, and how are you today? I'm doing well, King Andrew Carter. I hope you are doing well as well in your kingdom. Leanna said, greetings, Andrew. Andrew said, good afternoon, Leanna. And Leanna said, how are you? Okay, I believe we're caught up now. And going back to Daniel's question. Daniel, I'm sorry I had to cut you off there for a moment.
That's fine.
Talking about purifying microprocessors and extracting the gold dust out of them, I absolutely do think that would be very much worth it, and I could see a lot of cool things being made from that. I do think it will be an enormously time-consuming process. So I would say I would be curious if you could come up with a bulk way to do it. When you start off doing it, I'm sure you'll be taking individual processors, like you said, acid, putting them in an acid bath, trying to remove some of the stuff, then melting down what's left over to separate the metals from each other. If you can do something like that on a large scale, where you eventually just get, big computer boards and you have large baths of acid that you could throw the entire board into, pull off, and then from there take what's left over after it's sat in the the acid bath for however long it needs to, scrub that down, and then actually melt those in something like an electric arc furnace, or even just a temperature controlled gas furnace. If you could accurately regulate what the temperature of your furnace would be, it would be really interesting because you could assign it to a specific melting point of a metal that you're looking to get. So if you knew that all of your boards are made out of copper, steel, and gold, you could say, hey, I'm going to go to the lowest melting point of any of those, whether that's copper or gold, go to that melting point, try to melt off whatever will melt off at that melting point, so either the copper or the gold. If it's the gold that has the lowest melting point, you may just be able to hit that melting point, extract as much gold as you can, and then throw the rest away as scrap, as something that you're not interested in. If it is the other way around, you could slowly melt off the excess metals until you get to just the gold that you're looking for. And in that way, you could bulk refine this down further and further and further until you were able to extract what would maybe be at the final product somewhere around 70, 80% pure gold. And then from there, you could go down into further refining if need be.
I was about to mention that in terms of how to get even more gold from it, I was about to mention that I could just necessarily put like hundreds of microprocessors in this acid bath at a time. So maybe there's a good chance that I'd get even more from it theoretically. But then there's also a major issue of the fact that the fumes would be one major problem that I'd have to deal with, to the point where I might have to wear a respirator as well.
100%. I would say more than likely the things that you would be using to deal with this would probably be quite toxic. And I would imagine you would want to wear not only gloves, definitely read the data sheet for any chemicals that you're handling. All chemicals come with you can actually Google it if you know the name of the chemical, but there is an international standardized safety sheet, basically like safe handling procedure sheet that comes with every chemical known to man, that will tell you what you need to handle it with and what things it will corrode. So it's really popular with acids and bases, because chemists, when using acids and bases, need to know, hey, if I need to store this acid or this base, do I store it in glass? Do I store it in plastic? Do I store it in rubber? What things will it react with and what things will it not? Because if you get an acid and you wear rubber gloves, there are certain acids that if it gets poured on a rubber glove won't do anything at all and you'll be perfectly safe. There are others that will eat through not only the rubber but also your clothing and also your skin and your bone, but won't eat through plastic. So there are a lot of things that need to be considered when doing that as well. I would recommend, yes, using a respirator, but also doing it in a heavily ventilated area. I wouldn't consider doing any of this indoors at all, because at the rates that you were talking about, that's a large amount of fumes. And not only that, just if you were indoors and for whatever reason you knocked over your acid bath, could become a very, very dangerous situation you could be trapped in very quickly. So definitely be careful. As well, fumes from things like that, even if you did it indoors and you had, an industrial strength ventilation system, you still very well, if you don't read the data sheet properly or if you don't know very much about chemistry, could be dealing with residual fumes from the reactions you're doing that may be flammable. So if you say created all these fumes in like a garage, and then you had your furnace in a garage and you started it up, or even nearby outside, it could ignite some of those fumes and trail it back inside and cause a large fire. So I would say if you're not 18 or older, 100% get parents, guardians, other adults to monitor you in doing that. But the primary thing to do regardless is to really understand and study what you're doing and every step of that process. Learn about previous mistakes that have occurred in industrial settings, what can go wrong type of thing, because that's very important with dealing with any type of chemicals, and especially dealing with furnaces.
I agree, and that's one reason. Like, that's one thing I'm going to take into account when actually discussing something like this, as you don't want to mess with chemicals and then believe that that you're literally let's just say this. I'm not going to say that, I am above everything, that I am the safest person in the world. I mean, I make mistakes, but when it comes down to acid and something like that, that is something that you can't afford to make a mistake with, especially knowing how toxic and possibly even dangerous it can be. And even then, you'd have to have a designated area where it would be off limits and where basically just about no one would be allowed to show up or go there without any specific form of identification and or clearance. The way I see it is simple. The place where most of these CPUs are going to be dissolved into gold dust is going to be highly restricted because of the fact that chemicals are going to be used, and the fact that only authorized people are going to be allowed there. And even then, it's just a matter of safety over anything else. I mean, we don't want some people who don't know what they're doing going there and possibly ending up just screwing themselves over, and not just themselves, possibly others in exchange.
That makes a lot of sense. As well, really quick, Daniel, Queen Marionette had said in the comments that she was thinking about going fairly soon. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask her a few questions about her nation before she has to go to sleep.
Sure.
Queen Marionette, can you tell us the inspiration for your nation and why you got into micronationalism?
Uh, well, there one of the things that inspired me was another Micronation on YouTube. They're not a realist at Micronation. You've probably heard of them before. Um, Darren for president, I think. Darren for super president. I forgot his name.
Oh,
In the
absolutely.
country of Jar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him uh way back, and just one day in science class, me and one of my friends were talking about what it would be like to be in control over our own country, and then that's how it started.
That's
Hmm.
fantastic. Is that friend still a part of the nation?
No, they changed to a different school the year after, and at the time I wasn't allowed social media, so I didn't. Yeah.
Oh goodness, I'm sorry to hear about that. Well, maybe you can attempt to reach out in some way. Maybe your nation's fame will reach them, and they'll be able to join up.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Absolutely, that's very very cool. Do you have any particular thought as to kind of a direction for your nation? You know, maybe any ideology, maybe any references that you might take from to grow or develop your nation?
Hmm, that's a good question. I haven't really thought about.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things when developing a nation is looking at, of course, symbols, your name, your flag, your anthem, things like that, but as well government type, and the what the ultimate goals of your nation are. You know, like you brought up earlier, saying that JAR isn't a realist nation. That's perfectly fine. Uh, there are plenty of nations that have many different reasons for existing. Ours personally is a realist nation. We're trying to uh, develop a country with real land that can take care of a population of people. And so that has its own specific goal sets and ideas for why it exists and how we move forward on a day-to-day basis. But depending on what you want to do and what your ultimate goals are, you can kind of do whatever you want with your nation, which is really cool.
That, oh, did you? We're gonna say something, Daniel?
Actually, yes. That is very fascinating that was very fascinating to hear about. Now, in regards to how my nation started, well, it's very easy to explain at least the beginning part, but however, where it is now, it's kind of a bit convoluted. As initially it was started as a protest against President Donald J. Trump, no longer president of the U.S. right around now because of the election resulting in Joe Biden becoming president and such. Now, the reason why I got the idea of starting the Dan Republic was in the aftermath of what happened in Charlottesville and such. And what happened in Charlottesville and how, President Trump responded to it, saying there are fine people on both sides of a white supremacist rally and such. I literally saw that coming. I literally saw the fact that that would probably end up happening as soon as Trump gets elected or as soon as he got elected and such. And initially, the Dan Republic was a bit more extremist, anti towards the U.S., but then I decided to change it to the point where we're more friendly towards the U.S. instead.
Absolutely.
But due to the fact that where we are now, it would be smarter to be friendlier towards the U.S. than hostile. Because look at the last time any particular nation tried to be hostile towards the US and what happened to them later. That's kind of the reason why. And not to mention the fact that the Trump administration was only a temporary nightmare. And the only reason why I guess one can say that I just still to this day don't really talk about the Trump administration without dropping at least one or two F-bombs before talking about it is because of the fact that, look at what happened as a result of him being elected in regards to some of the hate groups that appeared and such.
That's interesting.
That most of these hate groups, despite being in the shadows for most of the previous the pre-2016 presidential election, basically that's the thing here. Before then, most of these hate groups were in the dark because they were being opposed, but right when Trump came into the spotlight, that's where they saw it necessary to come out of the dark. But that's kind of a problem. And many people would say, well, no one who, many people would like to say and forget about the fact that there were white supremacists and neo-Nazis that voted Trump, but not all of them. Not every person that voted Trump even knew about these neo-Nazis to begin with. I mean, I'm not saying that all Trump supporters are racist neo-Nazis. In fact, there were plenty of Trump supporters that were farmers who were literally having problems as is and thought that maybe he could fix the problems, but he ended up failing them in exchange, which is why you saw a lot of Republicans who would have never in their lives vote Democrat. I mean, there were indeed some Trump supporters who refused to acknowledge that Joe Biden won, but they didn't want to take part in what happened in January at the Capitol, because what happened in January at the Capitol, that is what I should have seen. That's what I really should have expected from Trump supporters, because to them, they're like, give Trump 4 more years. I mean, there's a reason why I would have said hell no to that. I mean, look at what happened for the past 4 years. That would have been my answer. I'm sorry, guys, if I got too political, because unfortunately,
I was gonna say that does lead into some interesting conversations, Daniel. There are a ton of political reasons and motivations for people creating Micronation. The one thing that I really do like about it, though, is that um, micronationalism, even with people having different political opinions, sometimes those people who on a normal political stage would be the bitterest of rivals can end up working together, and it's really good to see. As well, real quick before we move on, I do want to get to a few more comments. Leanna said, I know a good jeweler who says small amounts of gold can sometimes be dissolved in acid. The chemical sheets you're talking about are called MSDS. Yes, thank you Material safety data sheets. Yes. Thank you very much, Leona. I appreciate that. For anybody else who's curious about that, they are material safety data sheets, MSDS. Queen says, I think I might get off in a bit. Leona said, say it ain't so, Queen. Christosberg Ledger joined. Hello, Christosberg. How are you? It's good to see you in the chat. Leona said, greetings, Ledger. Christosberg said, this is Daniel Maloney. Yes, Daniel was talking earlier. And as well, for your most recent, or third most recent comment, I would suggest leaving like the drama and the feuds and stuff outside of the chat. I'm completely impartial in that, and I don't know enough about it to even bring it up. Queen said Dan is talking, and then asked Trump. Christosberg said Trump only accelerated radical groups. They were there before him. Christosberg said, and they would have came out anyway. Leona said, my biggest problem with Trump was his banning of transgender people serving in the military, like we're less American. Agreed. There is a lot of issue with that, and again, the political divide that is created in a standard political setting that I think is really cool about micronationalism, having sort of an antithesis to that by nature. There is plenty of traditional politics in micronationalism, but there are a lot of micronations, especially that I've seen as of late, breaking further and further away from that tradition, and I hope that breeds progress. Christosberg also brought up, this is why I hate democracy, why I'm a monarchist. You have half the voting population are in the US who don't agree with who is in office, and that's actually a really, really interesting thing. You think it's like 50%. The actual amount of people who vote in the US is low. Like, it's not crazy low, but it's not high either. Like, it's under 50%, I believe. It's certainly
It's
under
like in the
70.
middle.
Well, and so that's the thing. That's anybody voting, period. So then if you take anybody who votes at all, knowing that there's a large percentage of the population who's completely apathetic to voting either way, and then taking all the people who are in that political spectrum who do vote at all, and then dividing that approximately in half, is such a weird thing to think about who runs these large countries and how decisions get made based on that type of a system. So I agree, monarchism is a very interesting solution to that, and I think it has its pros and cons as you get into larger and larger societies, but that's part of the reason why I think it works so well for micronationalism. Small groups of people who can make immediate decisions for themselves on a case-by-case basis. Christosberg said representative democracy, at least. It never truly represents the people. I agree, and I think there's a lot of difficulty with that in almost every system. It just depends on what you're trying to do and which system fits best for that. But real quick as well, we are hitting the 1 hour, 30-minute mark. I think I am going to get off here in a moment, but I did want to do the big plugs for everybody, of course. Please check out our Empire of Eternia website at eternianempire.wixsite.com. You see it here. Here's our homepage, of course, going to that Imperial Market section. You can go down to the Prestige system, fill out our sovereignty license application so that you can become a part of our Quest system and a part of the Prestige system as a whole. If you don't know what the Prestige system is, definitely check out the reading material we have on it right here. In addition to that, of course, stay a part of our Discord, hang out with us, and get to know when these streams happen. Please, as always, subscribe and follow us on YouTube for these streams. Make sure to like the streams because it helps us out a lot. I really appreciate everybody.
And also hit the bell for post notifications as well.
Yes, thank you, Daniel. I always forget that. President Daniel Maloney has me ready on it. Yes, as well, please hit the bell notification. There are a number of, every time I check our YouTube statistics, our analytics, it says that there's like 50-something% of our actual regular viewership are subscribed. So I think it's an issue with people not getting the notifications for our videos. So If you want to get the notifications for our videos, not only hit that bell icon, make sure you turn on all notifications because otherwise YouTube will completely jump over our notifications in favor of the Fine Bros or Jake Paul or whatever. So
Yeah,
definitely.
Jake Paul's old news anyway.
Of course. Pass him up. Go for the empire. Let's get some micronationalism into the mainstream.
And not to mention, he quit YouTube anyway.
Did he really? Interesting. We will talk about that more next time on the stream. If anybody has any questions about the prestige system, because that's something we've been talking about for a number of streams and we'll probably continue to talk about because it's the hot button issue in Eternia at the moment, please feel free to continue the conversation on our Discord. Message me or email us at eternianempire@gmail.com if you need to apply for citizenship, an application for an alliance with us, or to get into the prestige system. That's all found on that website. And I want to make progress with the empire, so please definitely make sure to let us know what you need. Leanna, as always,
okay.
Time flies when you're in good company. Queen said, yeah. Christoph Berg says, and Marionette, I hope we can talk officially in some capacity concerning diplomatic affairs, this being King Christoph of Begon. Queen says, Leanna, you should rejoin the Discord. Also, perhaps, I'm not really interested in foreign affairs at the moment.
Before you get off for the time being, I wanted to address something that Christophsberg mentioned about radical groups. Now, I'm not saying that radical groups never existed. They obviously did. And not to mention the fact that, Trump only accelerated them coming out and such, and they probably would have came out eventually. And one more thing, Christophsberg, can you not bring up whatever happened in the past involving me right now in the stream? You do not need to be saying, can we talk about how I've been targeting minors on the internet? You have to realize the fact that they've also been going after, that those same people at the same time have also been going after me too. But you have to realize that the idea is I don't intentionally go after minors. I'm just going to say just one thing here. Now, I'm sorry if I'm taking over your stream for the time being, AP, but I just also need to address something as a result of what has recently happened.
I would just say let's definitely leave it out of the streams. I think you saying let's leave it out of the streams is 100% on target, but at the same time,
I
think
agree.
it would be
I do
fair.
apologize.
No, you're fine. You're completely fine. The reason I'm jumping in is because I specifically didn't read Christophsberg's Ledger's comment, so that it wouldn't start a thing. I don't want to give either side a platform for talking, so I'm just gonna try not to have that become an issue for us.
And besides, he shouldn't actually, he shouldn't be saying that and such about me, because this is not the place to be talking about that. I mean, seriously, since when the absolute heck was it seriously okay to say, oh, can we talk about this and that about this person, when this person doesn't seem to realize that in exchange, they're also supporting unintentionally the possibility of literally unknowingly talking smack about people, especially when they don't realize it.
Agreed. I think it's really hard in situations where there are rumors spreading and things going back and forth for anybody to really be certain of all the facts. But that's not what we're going to get into tonight. I appreciate
for it.
Absolutely. I appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. I appreciate you guys being a part of the stream. And I can't wait for the next one. If anybody, like I said, if anybody needs anything, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm generally always on the Discord as much as I can be. Again, if you need to reach me another way, email eternityandempire@gmail.com is always a good way. And until then, I will see you guys next time. Have a good night, everybody.
Oh, AP, I believe Noah would like to speak to you as well.
Absolutely. Noah, I would say definitely you can message me on Discord if need be. Everybody have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.